So I got a lot of work going on today, and I wanted to share with individuals exactly who I am because I don't always dress like a girl. I'm not always wearing skirts. It's not exactly only who I am. It's much more complicated than that. When I was born, I was 10 pounds and I got really sick, and they put me in the bubble. My immune system was failing, and they could not figure out what was wrong with me. So they literally gave me to my mom and put me in her arms and said, let him die at home. Because there's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can figure out. So my mom, she, being a Jehovah's Witness, she read the Awake magazine that they were publishing, printing at that time, and there was an article. It was talking about a bunch of sick babies in the hospital, and there was one baby at the end of the row of all the babies, and that one on the end would always get better sooner, and they couldn't figure it out, and they tried everything, still couldn't figure it out, so they put a video camera in the room. And what happened was the cleaning lady at night would come in, and she would pick up that baby, she would hold it, wake it up, and talk to him. And with that kind of a concept of how touch and holding can actually heal, my mother literally held me for 2 solid months. I'd say she held me 99% of the time. Now, this literally saved my life. So I started out in a bubble. Now, after that incident, welcome to religion. I was born into the Jehovah's Witness religion. And they call it the Kingdom Hall, but I'm going to call it the church, because that's what most people are just used to. Before we go to church, my mom would tell me, don't crap where you eat. And I'm like, what does that mean? And she said, well, don't really get involved and have friends at church, because bad things are going to wind up happening. See, she was a victim of gossip already, so she knew how the rumor mill goes, and she didn't want nobody knowing any of our business. So when I went to church, I knew people, but I didn't really talk to them. I always kept people at a distance. The older individuals, well, I hung around them because they had lots of stories to tell, and I just listened and listened and listened, accumulating all of this knowledge. Then, while at church, over and over and over, they said, be no part of the world. You know, that's what Jesus said. In essence, the way that they were delivering the message said, well, when I go to school or other places, don't have any friends there either, because... And so I asked Mom, what does that mean? Well, when you go into school and out into the world and, you know, you just talk to people in general, you don't want to be friends with them because bad things are going to happen. When I went to school in public places, I didn't really get to know anybody. I never had the desire to really get super close to anybody. I maybe had 1 or 2 people that I talked to, but I was pretty nerdy. I didn't have any friends. Not like normal people, not like the most of you do. I never really grew close to anybody except family, blood family, religion family. Then, 27 years old, my mother dies. Oh, I forgot to mention I was married, I had 2 daughters, and then my mother dies. My rock, my anchor, the warrior who had my back, because I didn't know any better. And then when she died, everybody, religion, wife, ex-wife now, blood relatives, brother, uncle, everybody, was basically, get away from us, we want nothing to do with you. You're bad association. So throughout my entire life, for 27 solid years, I was isolated from everybody. I talked to people, I interacted with life, had to live, had to have a job, but I kept my distance from everybody. Okay, I embraced that. So, okay, you know what? The Bible says God provides whatever you need. Clothes, food, Don't worry about it. That's what the Bible said. So I literally did exactly that when I was totally on my own, when I lost everything. My daughters, my family, friends, possessions, all of it. So I lived not as a homeless person, but as a man on his journey. And I looked at it in all the positive ways. If they were going to leave me to die, then I'm not just going to survive, I'm going to thrive. I've learned how to enjoy my time. I've learned how to interact with my brain. My mother was a genius. She had that genius mind that works 24/7 and just doesn't stop. You wake up, your brain is running. And I really didn't get all of that. And now, after all these years, my mom telling me, you'll understand when you're older, you'll understand when you're older, you'll understand when you're older. Well, everything that I didn't understand, it's clicking. It's clicking. Like, I understand now. So it's very interesting for me to have this realization that throughout my entire life, I've been isolated everywhere. And it's given me this unique perspective that others don't have. It's given me thoughts that people, I can't even talk to them about it because they don't understand. They haven't been thinking about that for 20 years because they've had other people to talk to. Other people that are going to bring up other issues or their own agendas. Well, I've got my own. I've got my own issues. I've got my own agendas. I've got my own solutions. And nobody's opinion can tell me that my solutions don't work, because my experience says they do work. I may not be the richest person, but I certainly ain't the poorest person either. And I'm happy with the life I have overall. I'm very happy with the perspective I have. So for all those people out there stuck in isolation, get to know yourself. I really just like living in the moment. And take care.